They think that
I might.
you might be demonstrating a failure to show appreciation.
I'm not showing appreciation.
According to, some people.
I went to school for 5 fucking years.
Yes, you did.
5 fucking years. I didn't name one fucking name.
You did the right thing.
I did the right thing.
You did the right thing.
Hey guys, it is 1 a.m. and I just finished watching The Irishman. I'm so tired. I feel like I've run a mental marathon. But let's get right into it. The Irishman stars. Obviously, the best part of why this movie was made is because it brings back Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel, with Ray Romano, Jesse Plemons, Sebastian Maniscalco. There's a whole ton of people in this movie. I mean, it is just like the culmination of these gangster movies in terms of cast. I mean, the only person I think who wasn't in it was like Ray Liotta, because he was in Marriage Story. I guess, I'll start off with the good because of that, is that, it's just amazing cast. I mean, so many good people, and it was just so cool to see them all together, just, in these scenes together. Specifically, those main three, just having them having these quiet conversations was really cool. There is a lot of back and forth between really loud, bustling moments and quiet moments. Really quiet and solemn and reflective. And those are really good moments. I love those moments so much. Overall, though, what did I think of the movie? It was fine. I wasn't blown away by it. It was really good, I guess. And I'll get into more of, when I have a little bit more time talking about Scorsese, I'll get into more of why I don't particularly love all of his movies and why the formula doesn't work for me all the time. I'll get into more of that in another video I'm planning on doing about Scorsese and his comments, and his style, his storytelling, filmmaking. But for now, I'll just say, for me, it was longer than it needed to be. Obviously, it's 3.5 hours long. I can see, because they're telling the story of the entire life of these people. It's basically just about Robert De Niro's character, who kind of gets in the middle of, he's really good at what he does in terms of being a bodyguard / hitman / just watch out for you kind of person. And he gets taken under the wing of these people, and then he basically becomes the, like I said, bodyguard for Jimmy Hoffa, played by Al Pacino. A kind of self-destructive, not a politician, but he's the leader of this union. And he like I said, he's self-destructive. People tell him, you need to stop doing this stuff, you need to quit it, you need to not be such a hothead, and he doesn't listen. And it's just a really difficult situation. It's hard, Robert De Niro's character, he gets stuck in between all these people, but he wants to be loyal to all of them as well. Brad Pitt's getting all the supporting actor awards, but I really think Al Pacino should get it. I mean, he played wonderfully the depiction of somebody who's getting older and getting more stubborn, and you can't reason with them, and they're sure of themselves. I mean, it was really, really, I loved him in this movie. And I haven't seen him in a whole lot lately. Besides Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then, I mean, I could say that about everybody. They were so good. Joe Pesci was very quietly unnerving. The things that he says, the things that he does, you're like, he's the leader of this, and you make one wrong move, you're gone. And then obviously Robert De Niro. I can understand, no fault was it, he played the part wonderfully. I can understand why he wasn't nominated for Best Actor, because the part in and of itself does not allow him for a lot of creative choices or a lot of really, I don't want to say dramatic acting, because there's a lot of layers to this character, and in terms of how he's portrayed, especially later on when he's older and what he's lost, and it's just so solemn. But he's really quiet for a lot of the time. I mean, most of the movie is him going, maybe you should, come on, just maybe, we can go, oh, it's fine, we can, you think, so it's Robert De Niro being Robert De Niro, for most of this movie. And that was just the part of the character, because he had to be the kind of middleman. But he played it wonderfully. I mean, he's very quiet for most of this movie. Quiet. I mean, that's a big thing about this movie, especially the second half of it, is it's very quiet and solemn and almost weirdly unsettling for a lot of it. Because you can tell, I mean, there's a part towards the end where it's very quiet. No music. Very No Country for Old Men for like a solid 20 minutes. And something's coming. You don't know what. But something's coming because it's just too quiet. It could have been shorter. I don't want to, again, I can't really get into all the specifics about it without going into my whole perspective on what I think about storytelling over a whole lifespan, which I don't think is always a great idea. But from what was there in the movie, I enjoyed a lot of it. I enjoyed a lot of parts, mostly the parts that were, like I said, these small, intense conversations between like the main three, whether it was Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Pesci and Pacino, which was really cool to see, De Niro and Pesci, whoever it was. Those conversations were really cool and very intense. And the parts I enjoyed the most, that and when Robert De Niro is, there's a lot of great scenes when he's kind of detailing how you pull off a hit, right? That was really interesting to watch. The right guns and things like that. And then, the action and all. Those scenes were most of the scenes that I found really interesting, and especially towards the end, like I said, when it gets really solemn, and you just feel that huge sense of loss, and that huge sense of this is it now. So those moments are really, really great. Love those. I mean, right up to the end is that kind of silence, A lot of the parts in the middle, I have a hard time following movies like this, like gangster movies, things like that, already. But this one in particular, like the first third of it was, or the first quarter of it, when we're introduced to Robert De Niro and how he started in this, is pretty easy to follow. The last little bit's sort of easy to follow. The middle is just a lot of people at once, a lot of politics, a lot of names, and random people we haven't met at all or been introduced to, kind of coming in and being labeled or not labeled at all. And there's a lot of courtroom scenes and a lot of did you do this and that, and it gets really confusing, at least for me. Like I was very confused, and honestly, at a certain point, I was just like, you know what? This probably isn't really crucial to the story, to like know all the little details. It's really just about those main three characters. So if you watch this, just know going into it, there's a lot of names, a lot of people, a lot of reasons for people to shoot other people. Of course, it's really just about those three and their relationship and what's happening with them. So just stick through it. If you're like me and you get confused by that stuff, it gets, intertwined. Don't focus so much on the details. Just kind of know, okay, this is where Robert De Niro is at this point, and this is where he is at this point in the relationships with everybody, and things like that. That would be my advice if you want to watch it. But yeah, overall, it was a good movie. Not my favorite Scorsese movie. Very happy, though, that they were able to get those three actors together, and all of them, Harvey Keitel and everybody. And that was really cool. I mean, that's like the last time you're really going to see that. So that was very cool. But I just wish it had been a little shorter and a little, I don't know, just, not that movies have to have a specific length, obviously, but it just felt like it dragged on a lot for the story that it had. But acting was wonderful. I mean, I enjoyed, like I said, parts of it, for sure. Parts of it I was confused or a little bored, honestly. But maybe that's just because it's not my movie. That type of movie is not my movie. But yeah, there were definitely a lot of moments that I could attach to and really get into, and feel the suspense for, and feel what is going to happen between the two of them. That's really the anchor for me for this movie, is their trio relationship. That was the anchor for this movie. Plus, editing, music, tonally, pacing was really well done. There's a lot of those voiceovers with pans, and we're gonna go to this real quick, and there was a lot of interesting editing choices here and there. It was well made. It was well done. Just personally not my thing. But I can't deny the acting was great. Scorsese did a wonderful job once again. And I'm going to give The Irishman a 3 out of 4, for me personally. So yeah, I mean, check it out. It took me 2 times to be able to finish it, but it is 3.5 hours long. So that's all the movies. That is the Oscar nominations for Best Picture of this year. So really quickly, tomorrow I think I'm going to do a kind of live video of me with my predictions, because I like doing the ballots. But for now, since I finished doing the reviews for all of them, I just kind of wanted to list out my ranking of the 9 and what I feel like I would want to win. Again, when I do my predictions, I'll maybe what will win. It could be different, but here's what I want to win, kind of my ranking. At number 9, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. At number 8, The Irishman. Kind of 2 similar ones where I was like, they were good, a little long, pacing was kind of weird here and there, it was a little slow, or it was a little confusing. I didn't quite get it, but I think it's really interesting, though, that my bottom 2 are Tarantino and Scorsese. Like, that's kind of weird, but that just goes to show how well done the rest of these are. At number 7 is Little Women, and that's saying something, because I loved Little Women, and I gave it a 4 out of 4. Did I give it a 4? I gave it a 3. I gave it a 3.5 out of 4. But still, 7. That shows you how good these movies are. Number 6, Ford v Ferrari. Number 5 is Marriage Story. Number 4 is Joker. 3, Jojo Rabbit. I think that's going to be a surprise one for a lot of people. I've been going back and forth. These have been my top 2 for a while. But I think if I really had to pick just based on my gut feeling of what I want to win, 1917 is number 2. And that is the clear-cut, straightforward, this is just overall just excellent. Perfect. Loved it. Perfect. But number 1 for me is Parasite. I've been really, like if Parasite's number 1, like I said, 1917 is going to be like 1.5. But for me, even though Parasite left me with a lot to think about and a lot of, like, uncertainty, the experience watching it, the originality, the messages, the themes, just the amount of new things it did with a script, where it could have gone in so many different directions, where we have every character who no one's really a good or bad person. It just did so many great things that I think, again, I would love if, even if, Jojo Rabbit, or if 1917 won, I'd love that. But it would be really, really, really cool to see Parasite win, especially considering, I'm not sure, I can look it up, but I'm not sure if that would be the first foreign film to be the winner of Best Picture. I think that'd be really cool, if it's not already been done. By the time I post this, I'll catch you guys in like 3 hours when I do my live video of my predictions. I feel pretty good about them this year. I think my record is like 18 out of 24 correct. I think I said that last year. I'm gonna hope for 20 this year. We're gonna hope for that. But yeah, I will see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, but by the time you see this, I'll see you in like 2 hours. Happy Oscars, guys, and yeah, let's get excited. It's like the Super Bowl for movies, so I'm excited, and I'll see you guys then.